My girlfriend texted, "If you loved me, you'd prove it tonight." I replied, "Then we're done." She said I was heartless. I returned the ring and changed the locks. 2 weeks later, she cornered me at work with flowers, screenshots, and a fake emergency. Original post: I'm Ethan, 32M, and I work as a project coordinator at an architecture firm in Tampa, Florida. My job is basically, keep calm, keep proof, keep moving. My girlfriend Alyssa, 29F, is all intensity. When she's happy, love feels loud. When she's not, love feels like a test you can fail without knowing the rules. We'd been together just under 3 years and living in my apartment for 9 months. The lease and utilities were in my name. We talked about marriage in a normal way, someday, not today. But for Alyssa, someday started turning into a countdown. She'd say things like, love should be obvious, love should be public, love shouldn't need reminders. And I'd nod like that was deep when really it was a warning. Because the love tests started creeping in. If I didn't reply fast enough, she'd go cold. If I didn't post a photo, I must be hiding her. If I wanted a quiet night, I must not be excited about her. Everything became proof. Proof I was allowed to pass, but never allowed to stop taking. 2 months before this, I bought a ring. Not a giant, flashy thing, just a classic diamond on a simple band. $6,200. I paid a deposit and finished the rest on a short plan. I kept it in a small safe in my closet because I wanted to propose in a way that felt like us, private, intentional, no phones in our faces. I even planned it for the next weekend, sunset near the bay, then dinner. Simple. Real. Alyssa wanted something else. She wanted a moment that would live online. She'd say it like a joke, if you propose, it better break the internet, but it stopped sounding like a joke over time. Last Thursday, I was still at work late, finishing a client revision. Alyssa was out with coworkers. At 8:11 p.m., my phone buzzed. Alyssa, if you loved me, you'd prove it tonight. Alyssa, post a proposal, make it official. Tonight. Alyssa, if you don't, I'm done. I stared at the screen and felt my brain do something rare. It stopped bargaining. Because that wasn't romance. That was leverage. I could already see the future if I gave in. Next month it would be, if you loved me, you'd share your location. Next year it would be, if you loved me, you'd quit that job. The test never ends. It just changes costumes. So I replied, then we're done. Immediately, calls, texts, panic, rage. It was a waterfall. It was a test. I needed to see if you'd fight. Answer: you're heartless. You're not a real man. I drove home, sat in my car for a minute and let the quiet hit. Then I went upstairs and started documenting like it was a work incident, screenshots, call logs, a short email to myself with the time and date. Then I packed her things neatly, boxes and suitcases, not trash bags, clothes folded, shoes together, toiletries in a bin. Her jewelry tray placed in a small box with tissue so nothing scratched. Her work gear left untouched. I filmed a slow walkthrough of my apartment because I've learned that when someone loses control, they sometimes try to rewrite facts. By midnight, her stuff was stacked by the door with a note on the counter: Alyssa, you gave me a public proof of love ultimatum. I chose the ending. Text tomorrow 10:04 for pickup. Do not come unannounced. Ethan, when I finally opened the safe, I didn't feel angry. I felt sad, not about losing Alyssa, about losing the idea that love was going to feel peaceful with her. Friday morning, I returned the ring. I ate the restocking fee, $620, and got the rest back. It stung, but it also felt like unclipping a leash. I notified my building office she wasn't authorized for access anymore, then rekeyed my locks. Total cost, $190. I also moved my autopay bills to a new bank account because Alyssa had access to my old one from when we split groceries. I wasn't risking accidental charges. That night, her friend Haley texted from an unknown number, asking me to just talk. I replied once. She gave me an ultimatum in writing. I accepted. Please don't contact me again, and blocked the number. Quiet happened after that. Real quiet. I slept. Update 1: 4 days later, Alyssa didn't schedule a pickup. She sent people. First, her sister Lauren called. No hello, just accusation. What are you doing to her? I kept it simple. She said, propose publicly tonight or I'm done. I said, then we're done. Her belongings are packed. Lauren tried the property angle. She says you have her jewelry. Everything is boxed, I said. Pick up with a neutral third party. Then I got added to a group chat named Let's Fix This. 5 people I barely knew, messages like be a man. She just wanted to feel chosen. You don't throw away love over one night. I sent one line, love isn't a test. Stop contacting me, then left and blocked everyone. Around then, Alyssa started shaping the story publicly. A mutual coworker, Mason, messaged me and said, "Hey, just a heads up, Alyssa's posting that you humiliated her and abandoned her." I didn't argue online, I never do. I just sent Mason the screenshot and said, "This is what she wrote. This is what I replied. I'm not engaging beyond facts." Mason replied with one word, "Wow." That night at 2:03 a.m., an unknown number texted, "This is Alyssa. I'm at the call, no hospital, no details. Just a hook designed to make me sprint back into the chaos." I called the main line of the nearest hospital and asked if anyone by her first name was in the system. Nothing came up. 10 minutes later, Alyssa emailed me, "Wow, you really don't care if I'm hurt." So I replied, "Stop using fake emergencies. This is being saved." The unexpected thing happened the next day. Her mom, Denise, called. Her voice wasn't angry, it was tired. "Ethan, what happened? Alyssa says you humiliated her." I told her the exact text. Offered to send the screenshot. Denise went quiet, then said, "Send it." I did. She didn't argue, she didn't threaten, she just said, "I'm sorry, that's not love, that's pressure, I'll talk to her." For 2 days, the contact slowed. I thought Denise had gotten through. Then Alyssa started escalating again. New numbers, longer texts, and one message that was pure bait, "I'm sorry. I'll take you back if you stop being stubborn." That's when I realized she didn't miss me. She missed control. Update 2.5 weeks later. 2.5 weeks later, Alyssa showed up at my office lobby with flowers and a smile like we were in a romantic reboot. My receptionist messaged me. I asked my manager Jordan to come with me. Witnesses matter. Alyssa held the bouquet out. "I'm here for love." I didn't take it. "You need to leave." Her smile tightened. She raised her voice just enough for the lobby to hear without sounding wild. "He dumped me because I wanted commitment." I stayed calm. "You ended it. In writing." She pulled out her phone. "You're twisting it." "I have the screenshot," I said. That's when she slid a thin folder toward me, printed invoices for things I never agreed to, proposal video edit, engagement photo shoot, party deposit. My name typed on the top like I'd signed. "You owe me," she said softly. "I didn't touch it. I never agreed to any of this." Her voice sharpened. "Love isn't about agreements." Jordan stepped in. "Ma'am, you have to leave. This is a workplace." Alyssa looked at him like he'd stolen something from her. Then she stared at me and said, quiet but clear, "I can ruin you." Security escorted her out. As she left, she turned back and said, "You'll be sorry when everyone knows who you really are." 2 hours later, flowers showed up at my office. "Big arrangement," card said, "for my soulmate. Always." I handed the card to Jordan, took a photo from my folder, and asked HR to note that she was not allowed in our building. HR did more than note it. They told me Alyssa had emailed a concerned message from a random address implying I was unstable and might hurt myself. It was written like sympathy, but it was designed to trigger a response. I forwarded it to my lawyer. That evening, I got a payment request for $2550 labeled love debt. I declined and added, "Do not contact me again." Then the calls started from new numbers, voicemails bouncing between sweet and threatening. One was the line that changed my posture. "I can see your lights on. Don't pretend you're not home." I saved it, labeled it, and filed a police report for harassment, so there was an official number attached to the pattern. The officer didn't arrest anyone. They just told me to keep documenting. I called a lawyer anyway. Consult was $350. He listened to the voicemail and said, "We stopped this with paper." He sent a cease and desist, certified mail, signature required. Alyssa signed for it, and then violated it 2 days later by showing up at my gym at 6 a.m. She stood at the front desk like she belonged there. When she saw me, she said, "See, I'm showing up, that's love." I didn't argue. I told the front desk, "She's not with me. Please ask her to leave." She cried loud enough for heads to turn. The manager documented it and told her to go. In the parking lot, she hissed, You'll regret choosing pride over love. I didn't respond. I drove away. After that, she started staging accidental run-ins at the coffee shop near my office, at the grocery store I always used, even at the little park where I used to eat lunch. Same soft voice, same script. Can we just talk? I miss you. I'm different. Every time I kept walking. Every time I saved the date and time. Somewhere in that stretch, my life kept moving. I got bumped into a lead role on a new project because I was steady at work while my personal life tried to implode. And I went on a simple coffee date with Chloe, a friend of a friend, quiet, normal, no performance. It reminded me what love is supposed to feel like. Final update. 2 months later, court was on a Wednesday morning. My lawyer filed for a protective order based on the workplace incident, the gym incident, the documented harassment, and the escalating voicemails. I brought a binder, screenshots, call logs, certified mail receipt, the police report number, and the gym's written incident report. Alyssa showed up in a conservative blazer with tissues in her hand like she'd rehearsed sadness. Her attorney said, "My client simply wants closure." The judge looked at the printed message first. "If you loved me, you'd prove it tonight. If you don't, I'm done." Then my reply, "Then we're done." The judge paused and said, "Ma'am, that is a breakup." Alyssa tried the soft voice. "I didn't mean it literally. I was emotional." The judge nodded. "Then don't send ultimatums you don't mean." My lawyer played the voicemail, "I can see your lights on." The judge stopped it and asked Alyssa, "Why would you say that?" Alyssa cried fast. "I was hurt. I just wanted him to talk to me." The judge's tone stayed neutral. "That is intimidation." Order granted. 1 year, no contact. No third-party contact. Stay away from my home, workplace, and gym. Afterward, I didn't feel proud. I felt quiet. Like someone turned off a siren that had been blaring in my life. A couple months later, things are simple again. My apartment is mine. My phone is calm. Work is better. Chloe and I are taking it slow. My mom even texted me after she heard, "Good. Love shouldn't feel like a hostage situation." She was right. Here's what I learned: love isn't something you prove under threat. Real love is safety, not surveillance. If someone says, "Prove it or I'm gone," they're not asking for love. They're asking for control. The moment I stopped performing, the truth showed itself. Subscribe, like, and share if you want more stories like this. And comment below, have you ever been given a love test like that? And do you think I did the right thing by walking away?